She wants to be a great actress, so she ditches her best friend to be with successful friends. Later, she finds out she made a big mistake and regrets it very much. Cal Davidson is an aspiring actress who just graduated from the university. She is auditioning for the role of the character. As the producers prompt Cal to start, she nervously reads her piece and encounters difficulty delivering her lines. She delivers her line but screws up that part due to her pacing. Later, she goes home with her gay friend, Bobby, both carrying bubble tea. Over takeout, they discuss the auditions. While eating, Cal does her makeup for a while. Bobby comments that it's a lot of makeup. Mentioning Cal's friend Jacob, Bobby tries to steer the conversation, but Cal seems to want to avoid the topic. Instead, she decides to do Bobby's makeup. Later, Cal and Bobby are waiting by the door for Jacob when they stumble upon Mikey, Jacob's brother. Upon arriving at Jacob's unit, they hug it out. Subsequently, they talk about funny things they did in the past when they were teenagers. Jacob, a musician, has been on tour. Following that, Jacob's photographer girlfriend Emily is introduced to Cal. Cal is later seen choking on a drink and appears to be crying in the bathroom. She fixes herself up and exits the toilet. Entering a room where boys are talking, she interrupts their conversation. Later, Jacob enters to roll joints. Cal is asked what she is doing these days. She reveals that she graduated last May and is pursuing her craft as an actor. They later smoke a joint, but the other guy has to leave with Jacob, leaving the other guy and Cal alone. Bobby and Kit are talking when Cal interrupts again, irritating Kit. Mikey exchanges looks with Bobby, and they feel the need to be alone with each other. So Cal is alone outside when Emily walks out for a smoke. Emily and Cal catch up on a conversation, mainly about their connection with Jacob during their college years. Emily offers cigarettes to Cal, and she agrees. Cal heads out later on. Jacob promises to catch up with Cal, and so does Emily. Later, Cal is practicing her singing, which is out of tune. She smokes instead and then calls Jacob, but he is busy. The next day, while walking with their usual bubble tea, Bobby and Cal run into Rachel, their friend from school. Rachel asks Cal about what she has been doing after school, but she low-key mocks Cal when she says that she's freelancing, not shy at all. Rachel announces that she is working on a Gossip Girl musical. Bobby tells Cal not to be jealous, yet Cal promises she is not. Later in that day, Jacob invites Bobby and Cal to hang out in their apartment, where they have a lively conversation about embarrassing things until they walk in on their parents. Jacob is again called back for a tour, which will make him busy again. While doing auditions, Cal is also taking on freelance jobs and odd jobs, one of which is babysitting. She looks after a little girl, and it seems like the kid has become attached to her. While the kid is sleeping, Emily asks Cal to hang out. Cal unintentionally slights Emily for commenting on her apartment, mentioning it's quite nice for a photographer's salary. Emily gets a beer, and Cal, feeling awkward about what she said, keeps asking about the apartment. Cal tells a story about Jacob and the star projector, which, coincidentally, Emily also has. Emily shares her side of the story, mentioning that her sister has autism. Cal, in turn, shares that her brother is also autistic, but acts weirdly formal. However, she gets interrupted when Jacob calls. While on the call, Cal checks on their stuff but quickly returns to her seat. Emily asks Cal to model for her on Friday night. Cal hesitates, saying she's not a good model and is more suited for behind the camera. Emily suggests that since Cal is an actor, she should practice in front of the camera. Cal then does her makeup, and her father keeps calling. She tells him not to worry. She fixes her things in the apartment while waiting for Emily. Emily sets up Cal for her headshots against a brick wall while smoking to make her look cool. They continue to explore the city even after dark, taking photos and hanging out. Because of Emily, Cal keeps on smoking, realizing that she smokes a lot with Emily. Emily, though, says she's a bad influence. Emily reveals that she started smoking in college to try to impress girls. Cal realizes that Emily has dated girls before, so Cal opens up that she, too, has dated quite a lot of them. Emily talks about her journey of discovering her queerness, but ends up with Jacob instead. Their conversation delves into being a lesbian and being a good listener. However, Emily hints that she and Jacob are considering opening their relationship, which worries Cal. Without realizing it, they are both bumming a smoke. Cal wants to take photos of Emily, and Emily gives in. Cal later goes to her audition for a musical, but she keeps messing it up either because she is out of sync or out of tune. The producers, though, give her chances, but Bobby's voice is already cracking. Disappointed, she goes with Bobby, who is busking by the bench. Cal wants to leave already, as she is so hungry, but Bobby needs to play for an hour more so he can make rent. Later, their conversation turns into an argument. Cal tells Bobby that because she is hanging out with Emily, she fails her audition and is underprepared. Bobby, though, wants to knock some sense into her. Cal defends that it is just for an art project. Cal spills that she needs to hang out with more successful people. Bobby is pissed because Cal is brushing him off. But later on, amidst their argument, Cal receives a message that she is in a gallery in Soho featuring Emily's works. She arrives and bumps into Kit, asking about the artwork. Emily arrives at the show, and Cal sees her portrait on the wall. Cal, though, is too busy looking at Emily. Cal likes the portrait very much. Emily says Cal is a good muse. Jacob arrives at the show too. Then Bobby arrives, but Cal seems embarrassed with Bobby as he is sweaty without a shirt. So, Bobby runs into the bathroom while Cal joins the conversation among Emily, Jacob, Mikey, and Kit, even if she does not have any idea about it. Later, Emily and their friends are going bar hopping in the shortest time. Cal stays for a while to collect Bobby, but Bobby is not yet prepared. They have a mini argument, but afraid that Jacob and Emily will leave her there. Cal leaves Bobby stuck in the bathroom, and the car has already left when Bobby comes out. Cal keeps messaging Bobby, but isn't receiving responses. Mikey later on is flirting with Cal, but Jacob is giving the side eye to both of them. Later on, Emily and Jacob are seen arguing. Kit says that it happens a lot as they always argue. Emily is left teary as Jacob leaves. Cal comforts Emily, and they continue drinking and dancing. In the next few days, Cal and Emily continue to hang out. They go to some parts of the city, smoke, enjoy some conversations, and explore. Later, another party is coming up, and they are excited to go. Jacob calls Emily, and it seems like they are discussing something not good. In Emily and Jacob's apartment, they order Indian food. However, they are completely ignoring Jacob. Emily and Cal are non-stop talking, creating a deeper connection between them. Surprisingly, they didn't even think about Jacob's food, so Jacob points that out. Cal then asks about Jacob's parents, to which he responds that he has realized their parents have flaws and doesn't do anything to address them. In response, Cal counters Jacob's beliefs. The scene then cuts into Cal calling her dad and talking about calling her mom. This revelation hints that Cal's parents may be separated. Cal goes to Mikey's house, drinks, and flirts. She expresses how impressive Mikey is because he has accomplished so much. Meanwhile, Cal is job hunting again, but then sees a poster of Bobby's singing gig. She calls Bobby, but he is not responding. Shifting to a new scene, Cal and Emily go on a long drive, carrying bottles of margaritas to deliver to a party at Mikey and Jacob's childhood house. Jacob is there, conversing with other people, and then Emily introduces him. On the other corner of the house, Mikey and Cal are having deep conversations and seem to be connecting well. Later on, Dan suddenly arrives, saying he almost tried to separate Cal and Jacob's brother, Mikey, which irritates Emily. In response, Emily runs off, so Jacob runs after her. Cal follows them and overhears them arguing again upstairs. Cal knocks on Emily's door, but she won't respond. Then she goes to Jacob in his old room. They both reminisce about their childhood friendship. However, as they happily discuss, Cal mentions finding it weird the time they were alone before. Cal asks about Emily, but Jacob denies that Emily is going through something. Jacob tells Cal not to sleep with his brother, Mikey. Later, Jacob lies on Cal's shoulders. Cal asks Jacob what to talk about. Jacob expresses that he does not want Cal to date Mikey because Jacob and her are best friends, and if Cal and Mikey separate, it will not go well with their relationship with each other. Jacob admits to disappointing people and shares the exciting news about the upcoming tour. Cal expresses her full support. However, Jacob starts to act strangely, and Cal tries to set boundaries in their friendship. Before long, they end up kissing. They stop, realizing what they have done, and things get awkward and frantic. Cal is left crying, and at the same time, Emily comes out of the toilet crying too. Emily drags her inside the toilet, and they cry together. Suddenly, Cal and Emily melted into passionate kissing. Both expressed that they are in love with each other. However, Emily betrays Cal as she runs away. Losing Bobby, Jacob, and now Emily makes Cal devastated. Later, she just hangs out with Mikey, drinking and talking until they get intimate with each other when all the guests have left. In the morning, she tries to get a ride home, but neither Emily nor Jacob is responding to her. Later on, Cal's dad picks her up instead. During the ride, they get into an argument because her dad is judgmental about her life. She breaks down because she has no idea what is happening in her life, but they patch up anyway. Cal gets into her apartment crying. Later on, Cal enrolls in acting classes and concentrates. Additionally, Bobby secures a performance gig at a restaurant. Cal attends and is among the audience. She buys Bobby milk tea and meets him up front, congratulating him. Despite being chill, Bobby accepts the gesture. Cal apologizes to him for not valuing their friendship, and in a gesture, he accepts the boba tea, accepting her apologies. Cal comes home to her apartment after finishing her night routine and goes to bed. And that's how the movie ends. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like our channel and subscribe if you enjoy content like this. Let us know what movie you would love us to recap for you.